Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans. On this channel, I discuss true crime, breaking news, and various topics. I'm doing back-to-back lives because I'm a little bit behind on the stories that I had intended to bring to you yesterday and the day before. And so now I have to do these back-to-back lives so I can catch you all up on the breaking news of said stories are happening around the world and the United States. And I thank you for joining me. This commentary is a bit controversial. The source is CBS News. If you need verification for the storyline, this came across my information desk the other night, and I thought, very interesting. I mean, there are a lot of people who are religious in this country and abroad, and there are some faithful people who are Catholic, and they do not believe in homosexuality in the church, homosexuality in general, and surely don't believe in an open gay priest being in the said church. Feel free to weigh in how you feel about open priests, openly gay priests in the church, and also just gay clergymen in general, not just necessarily the Catholic Church, but it could also be Baptist or Protestant and or Episcopal or Methodist, whatever your denomination is. How do you feel about a gay pastor, said priest in the church? Or do you feel that if a priest has homosexual urges, tendencies, and or is gay, do you feel he or she should be in the Catholic Church and or other said churches, synagogues, etc.? And I thank you for joining me. Hello, KK Alexa. Hi, baby. Thank you for joining me. Sorry you missed the last live, and I thank you for joining me. I'm going to bring you said commentary from CBS News. I probably won't have that many viewers. It's kind of late, but I had to get all these stories out because I would be behind if I didn't bring them, and I didn't want my whole day filled up Tuesday with back-to-back lives because I have two more breaking news stories due to the mass shootings, and those will be the next commentary that I bring you after this, probably hours later when it's morning and people are up. The next set stories after this will be the Gorilla Glue Girl and the mass shootings that have taken place in America, Georgia, Colorado, the newest one, Maryland and Virginia. I will be covering an array of those shootings, and I want you all to tell me what you think that's going on in our country with these people shooting people. A lot of angry people in America who are not coping well, and it's just a sad situation. Hello, Angie Dare. Hello, Barbara. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm working. Queen is working because I slept through the night. So I'm able to get up and knock these stories out because the said information from Cal City threw me off of 2 nights of work that I had previously planned. But I wanted to get that said information out because a lot of you are still following that said story out of California City. But now I bring you more breaking news pertaining to the Vatican and homosexuality in the Catholic Church. It is a very controversial issue. It has always been a controversial issue with Catholic priests. Should they be openly gay, or should they not reveal that they are homosexuals, and or should they even be in the church, period, even though they keep it to themselves? Should they just live a regular civilian's life and not be in the church? Yes, Kelbo, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I'm not going to worry about how many people are viewing. I want to hurry up and knock this story out. It could be a short commentary, live, whichever, if you want to weigh in. CBS News is the source for this information. I want to hurry up and bring you all this said information. CBS News is the source. One second. Letting the commercials play. Hello, Goose. How you doing? Zanessa, how you doing? Thank you all for joining me in this late morning. 3 o'clock in the morning here in the High 10. Hold on.
The Vatican declared the Catholic Church won't bless same-sex unions, saying it cannot bless a sin. That comes even as a number of priests are beginning to come out of the shadows, as Seth Stone will tell us.
The setting, with its soaring cathedral ceiling and sacraments, are typical of any Catholic service, but the similarities stopped with this sermon.
Because if there's anything that an LGBTQ person will know, it is that we're going to face opposition.
Yes, Father Greg Greiten said we members of the LGBTQ community.
You're one of very few openly gay priests.
Yeah. How many?
I've always heard the number thrown out, like 10 of us
10.
That are really out there. Yeah. All glory.
There are roughly 38,000 priests in America. What are you risking by being out?
Sometimes it feels like I have to walk on a tightrope.
I've been carrying a heavy burden. Father Greg came out to his congregation in this Milwaukee suburb about 3 years ago at age 51.
I am a gay priest and a celibate priest.
This moment came after a lifetime of struggle, serving a church that teaches that acting on homosexual feelings is a sin.
I just want to break the silence. We're here. And for me, Seth, that was part of the hypocrisy that I was watching happen.
Did you feel like a hypocrite when you were up here at the pulpit and not out?
I personally did. It's like wearing a mask. Every day I have to go up there and pretend I'm something that I'm not. Bless you.
He pledged, as all priests do, to live a celibate life. For him, this was not about sexual activity, but identity. He found folks in his congregation were overwhelmingly supportive.
Does it matter to you that the priest here is gay?
No, that's a positive thing.
Carol and Fred Weber's son had come out to them years earlier.
We went in the closet for a while until we were able to accept it. Of course, we loved our son.
Later, they say, having an openly gay priest helped. But the church itself has not been so pleased.
The unwritten comment is, don't talk about it. We know you're there, but be silent.
I'm not courageous enough yet.
Father Frederick, as we'll call him, feared losing his salary, health care, church housing, pension, and the authority to minister.
What does it say that you need to do this interview in shadow?
It says that it's not cool to be gay if you're a priest. And if you are gay and a priest both at the same time, you gotta hide one or the other.
He likened that secrecy to the double life of spies.
Did you remain celibate as a priest?
No, I did not. I experimented, I struggled. There were liaisons, there were relationships, and there was love several times.
Love and sexual intimacy with another man?
Yes.
With other priests?
Once or twice.
He said his seminary, where he trained to be a priest, was a warehouse of young men struggling with their sexuality. They were encouraged from the top and the beginning to keep quiet.
What's the effect of this culture of silence on the church?
It is a slow-moving cancer.
Se una persona gay, while Pope Francis famously responded, "Who am I to judge?" when asked about gay priests during a papal press conference, he has also said that anyone with deep-seated homosexual tendencies shouldn't be a priest. Their place is not in ministry or in consecrated life, he said.
I think if you had suddenly all the gay priests in the United States come out, I think the church would be forced to look at the question of homosexuality in a very different light.
Father James Martin, a Jesuit priest and author, is the most high-profile advocate for LGBTQ Catholics, and in 2019, Pope Francis requested a meeting with him.
The Vatican put our audience on the Pope's official schedule. They sent out a picture. I met with him in the Apostolic Palace, which is where he meets with presidents and diplomats. It was a pretty strong sign of his support.
The tone is new. The teachings haven't changed.
The teachings haven't changed, but the tone is very important.
And Martin says ultimately Catholic leaders need to shift their thinking.
It's a life issue. We have high suicide rates among LGBT youth, and we also have places in the world where gay people can be arrested and executed for being gay.
He calls Pope Francis the most pro-LGBT pope ever, though acknowledges that's not a high bar. Francis is the first pope to use the word gay publicly.
One of the things I lament is if there were a case of, say, bullying in a parish or in a school, it would be wonderful for the gay priest to get up and say, look, I was bullied as a boy. So there are these life experiences that I think people are missing in the church.
How many gay priests do you think there are?
I'm guessing maybe 40%. Who knows? If it was 40%, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was 80%, I wouldn't be surprised.
It is a large silent community, a vast silent majority.
Frédéric Martel is a French author who spent 4 years researching his book In the Closet of the Vatican about the gay underworld there. He says he interviewed hundreds of priests, even cardinals.
It's 50 shades of gay. I mean, a lot of different kind of gay.
He suggests the largest group of men in the Vatican may be gay but do not practice and can actually be the most homophobic. And in interviews discovered a real range of sexual identities.
Each of them is totally singular in his little closet.
How many priests do you think you have slept with?
I think about 100.
Oh my God, 100.
In Italy, many thousands of priests. So 100 is not so much.
Francesco Mangiacapra is a sex worker with a law degree who found one priest client led to another and another. What's this?
It's my dossier about gay priests in Italy.
Over roughly 5 years, Mangiacapra compiled this 1,200-page dossier of personal profiles, graphic photos, and text message exchanges with roughly 50 of the priests who were his clients. He submitted it to his local archdiocese of Naples, he says, as a political act.
Si tratta di un atto politico, non di una rivalsa.
This demonstrates that there's a flaw in the system, a system which tolerates certain behavior, but makes it so these behaviors are hidden, he told us. He admitted the dossier had scared off some priest clients, but not all, adding,
The libido is higher than the fear.
It's important to note the priests we spoke with, as well as the Vatican itself, see no connection between homosexuality and the clerical sexual abuse crisis. A 5-year study by New York's John Jay College, commissioned by bishops, found the data do not support a finding that homosexual identity is a risk factor for the sexual abuse of minors. We spoke with about 24 priests who told us they were gay, but few would share their stories publicly.
I admire priests who are willing to stand up, come out of the closet. That's courage.
Most told us they felt forced into the closet. It's a painful, confining place, particularly in a church community where they're expected to be role models.
Our liturgy is ended. Let us go forth now to love and to serve our God and one another.
Father Greg Greiton, faithfully serving his parish in Wisconsin, says secrecy is a scourge in the church. So the first step for him is being open and honest.
You signed up to work for an institution that thinks being gay, acting out on that is a sin.
Correct. But the difference is this is my spiritual home. This is where I was baptized. This is where I received my first communion. And so this is my home. And I don't believe that the home should be throwing out its children.
Okay. That is said information by CBS News.
Hayes is here to help find what his customers need. Did you check?
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. That is said information by CBS News. I'm going to finish this article up. Gay priests breaking the silence. The setting with the soaring cathedral ceiling and sacraments is typical of any Catholic service, but the similarities stop with this sermon. Because if there's anything that an LGBTQ person will know, it is that we're going to face opposition, says Father Greg Greeton. Yes, Father Greeton said, we members of the LGBTQ community. He is one of very few openly gay priests. When asked how many there are, he said, I've always heard the number thrown out, like 10 of us that are really out there. There are roughly 38,000 priests in America. Correspondent Seth Doan asked, what are you risking by being out? Sometimes it feels like I have to walk on a tightrope, he replied. Father Greeton came out to his congregation in this Milwaukee suburb about 3 years ago at the age of 51 when he announced, I am a gay priest and a celibate priest. This moment came after a lifetime of struggle serving a church that teaches that acting on homosexual feelings is a sin. I just want to break the silence, he told Doan. We're here, and for me, Seth, that was part of the hypocrisy that I was watching happen. Do you feel like a hypocrite when you were up here at the pulpit and not out? I personally did. It's like wearing a mask. Every day I have to go up there and pretend I'm something I'm not. He pledged, as all priests do, to live a celibate life. For him, this was not about sexual activity, but identity. He found folks in his congregation were overwhelmingly supportive. Doan asked Carol Weber, does it matter to you that the priest here is gay? No, it's a positive thing, she replied. Carol and Fred Weber's son had come out to them years earlier. We went into the closet for a while until we were able to accept it, she said. Of course, we loved our son. Later, they say having an openly gay priest helped. But the church itself has not been so pleased. Father Greeton said the unwritten comment is, don't talk about it. We know you're there, but be silent. Father Frederick as well called him, feared losing his salary, healthcare, church housing, pension, and the authority to minister. During his interview Sunday morning, hid his identity. I'm not courageous enough yet, he said. Don't ask, what does it say that you need to do? What does it say that you need to do this interview in shadow? It says that it's not cool to be gay if you're a priest. And if you are gay and a priest, both at the same time, you gotta hide one or the other. He likened the secrecy to the double life of spies. When asked if he has remained celibate as a priest, Father Frederick replied, no, I did not. I experimented. I struggled. There were liaisons. There were relationships. And there was love several times. Love and sexual intimacy with another man, says the commentator. Yes, was the priest's answer. With other priests, he responded, once or twice. He said his seminary where he trained to be a priest was a warehouse of young men struggling with their sexuality. They were encouraged from the top and the beginning to keep quiet. Don't ask, what's the effect of this culture of silence on the church? It is a slow-moving cancer, Father Frederick said. While Pope Francis famously responded, who am I to judge, when asked about gay priests during a papal press conference, he also said that anyone with deep-seated homosexual tendencies shouldn't be a priest. Their place is not in ministry or in consecrated life, he said. Father James Martin, a Jesuit priest and author and the most high-profile advocate for LGBTQ Catholics, said, I think that if you had suddenly all the gay priests in the United States come out, I think the church would be forced to look at the question of homosexuality in a very different light. And this is Father James Martin, who has that opinion, who is, I guess, openly gay. My goodness. In 2019, Pope Francis requested a meeting with Father Martin. The Vatican put our audience on the Pope's official schedule. They sent out a picture. I met with him in the Apostolic Palace, which is where he meets with presidents and diplomats. It was a pretty strong sign of his support. The tone is new. The teachings haven't changed, asked Stone. The teachings haven't changed, but the tone is very important. And Father Martin says ultimately Catholic leaders need to shift their thinking. It's a life issue. We have high suicide rates among LGBT youth, and we also have places in the world where gay people can be arrested and executed for being gay. He calls Pope Francis the first pope to use the word gay publicly, the most LGBTQ pope ever, though acknowledging that's not a high bar. One of the things I lament is there were a case of, say, bullying in a parish or in a school, it would be wonderful for the gay priest to get up and say, look, I was bullied as a boy, Father Martin said. So there are these life experiences that I think people are missing in the church. Don't ask, how many gay priests do you think there are? I'm guessing maybe 40%. Who knows, he replied. If it was 40%, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was 80%, I wouldn't be surprised. It is a large silent community, a vast silent majority, said Frederic Martel, a French author who spent 4 years researching his book, In the Closet of the Vatican, about the gay underworld there. And if you all would like to check out that book, It is a New York Times bestseller. It is called In the Closet of the Vatican: Power, Homosexuality, Hypocrisy by Frederick Martel. He said he interviewed hundreds of priests, even cardinals. It's 50 shades of gay. I mean, a lot of different kind of gay. He suggests the largest group of men in the Vatican may be gay, but do not practice and can actually be the most homophobic. And in interviews discovered a real range of sexual identities. Each of them is totally singular in his little closet, Martel said. Francesco Mangiacopra is a sex worker with a large degree who found one priest client led to another and another. When Doan asked how many priests he had slept with, Mangiacopra replied, I think about 100. We have in Italy many, many thousands of priests, so 100 is not so much. Over roughly 5 years, Mangiacopra compiled a 1,200-page dossier of personal profiles, graphic photos, and text message exchanges with roughly 50 of the priests who were his clients. He submitted it to his local Archdiocese of Naples, he says, as a political act. This demonstrates that there's a flaw in the system, a system which tolerates certain behavior, but makes it so these behaviors are hidden, he said. Mangiacopra admitted the dossier had scared off some priest clients, but not all, adding, the libido is higher than the fear. It's important to note the priest Sunday morning spoke with, as well as the Vatican itself, see no connection between homosexuality and the clerical sexual abuse crisis. A 5-year study by the New York Johns Jay College, commissioned by bishops, found the data do not support finding the homosexual identity is a risk factor for the sexual abuse of minors. Very interesting. Doan spoke with about 24 priests who told us they were gay, but few would share their stories publicly. Father Frederick said, I admire priests who are willing to stand up, come out of the closet. That's courage. Most told Doan they felt forced into the closet. It's a painful, confining place, particularly in a church community where they're expected to be role models. Father Greg Greeton, faithfully serving his parish in Wisconsin, said, secrecy is a scourge in the church, so the first step for him is being open and honest. Don't act. You sign up to work for an institution that thinks being gay, acting out on that is a sin. Correct. But the difference is, this is my spiritual home. This is where I was baptized. This is where I received my first communion. And so this is my home. And I don't believe that the home should be throwing out its children. So if you wanted more information on the subject matter, Father Greg Greeton, St. Bernadette Catholic Parish, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Father James Martin on Twitter. The book, In the Closet of the Vatican: Power, Homosexuality, Hypocrisy by Frederick Martel. This is by Bloomsbury Continuum in hardcover, trade, paperback, ebook, and audio formats available via Amazon and IndieBound. This story was produced by Sari Aviv and Anna Montranga, editor Ed Givnish. And this is a story by CBS News. Amen. Thank you for doing this story. This was a very interesting story. I'm glad you are here to listen to the said commentary. The priest who decided to give information pertaining to having sexual liaisons with other men and priests was in shadow. But the one video I showed you briefly of the guy talking about how many men he slept with and has kept a open dossier, as they call it. He is a sex worker, and he has outed some priests, obviously, and gone to his diocese in Naples and outed these said men. Please weigh in on the commentary and let me know what you think of open gay priests being open in the church. Should the diocese allow gay priests to be openly gay? Because what we have to ask ourselves, if you're openly gay and you're saying you're gay, how are you going to not act on your sexual attraction to men, the longing to be with the man? Although we know that you are to remain celibate as a priest, that is the oath you take as a priest. But as you see, these men have admitted to, one anyway, that's in shadow, that he has had liaisons with priests and men. Some were love, 1 or 2. Interesting. So how can you be a priest and then say you're openly gay? That makes no sense to probably some of us, because what we're thinking is, okay, if you're gay, you're saying you like men. because that's what gay means. I like the same sex. So how are you going to walk through life and not engage in some type of relationship, courtship, sexual relationship with the same sex? Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I will drop the link so you can give your commentary on this said subject matter. This is a very interesting story. And you see, they also try to loop in the abuse of sexual assault against children and then try to say that there's no connection. But I don't believe that, because we do know that a lot of boys have been molested by priests. So that way we know you are a gay man when you decided to assault a boy child. And girls have also been assaulted by priests. There's also commentary I found out a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago, a priest who assaulted both boys and girls. And what they did was they moved them around. That is known in the diocese that when an allegation comes forward about a said priest molesting a child, boy or girl, he poof disappears and goes to another church. So this has been a practice known in the Catholic Church that has been going on for many moons, that when allegations come forward, they do not out them. They move them to another parish, which makes no sense to move an individual priest to another parish to only assault other children, lie and manipulate said people in the community, the church. It is a farce. It is fraud. Because as the Vatican has said, if you know that you are gay, you should not become a priest. And I agree. What is the point? But many men joined the priesthood because they had high expectations from their families, such as young girls becoming nuns. That was an old way of life back in the early 1900s, probably up to the 60s, 70s. It was expected of their children. They wanted their children to become a nun or a priest. They got pressure from their parents. So these young, vulnerable young people went out and joined this sacred union to become a nun or a priest, but they did not want to do that. And some probably did, but then got in and realized it wasn't for them. Some stayed, some left. You've heard stories of people who have left the sacred club because he or she realized, I want love. I want the comfort of a man or a woman, same sex, whatsoever. I can no longer be a fraud and live this lie. And I commend anyone who can say to him or herself, I do not want to participate in this sacred union and lie to myself first and foremost, and lie to God and lie to the church, because those are the people you are lying to: yourself, God, the church, and the community. And you owe yourself more than that. Because in the end, nobody can live for you. You have to live for yourself. So that's why I do not believe in pressuring people to do anything. Be join the military, priesthood, nuns, marriage, arranged marriage, same religious sectors, whatever. It's all the same. Pressure to do something is just wrong, because people become very miserable, and desperate people do desperate things. And the worst thing to do is walk around in life pretending to be something that you are not, all because you're trying to please your parents and or your community. And you end up being more of a detriment to yourself and the society that you have ventured into. And I think we all know that from seeing the things that have gone on with the Catholic Church, arranged marriages in foreign countries, the Muslim faith, other faiths. It is a total disaster. Amen. Thanks for joining me. Let me drop this information to you. You all are up with the queen. I sure appreciate it. I'm trying to knock out my stories because I had so many stories to cover. I just There's no way I could sit and wait to bring them all to you. I didn't want to wait to the last minute to bring you all these sad stories. And I thank you for getting up this late in the morning to listen to the Queen. Thank you so very kindly. Oh. Thanks for joining me. Please weigh in on priests being openly gay in the church. Do you approve of a gay priest and or clergymen, other denominations of religion? My pastor once said that God does not speak of homosexuality often in the Bible. He said about 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. So, we have reveled in judging this sin of homosexuality, condemnation to hell, blah, blah, blah. But the pastor once said, and matter of fact, it was a sermon he gave last year before the COVID broke and we were quarantined and church had stopped. He had said during the sermon that God only speaks of this said sin about 3 times in the Bible. So it's not heavily weighed and ostracized as people have made it out to be. But nonetheless, he does not, God, condone relationships, sex between 2 of the same sex, man and man, woman and woman. But as my pastor said, I do not judge you if you are homosexual, but what you're not going to do is be up in chair, which he means the pulpit, talking about God. Amen. Well, that was his opinion. So please hit the link to tell me if you agree or disagree with priests being openly gay in the pulpit, in the church. I grew up Catholic in Chicago. I attended private school in Chicago up until the age of 11. It is all I knew at that time, of course. It is very prevalent in most major cities such as Chicago, New York, Boston, Philadelphia, East Coast, Midwest, that most people are Catholic. They grow up Catholic. Most of us who grew up in the city attended private school. A lot of people graduate from private high schools. It is a known factor for those who live in major metropolitan cities to grow up Catholic, and then to also attend private school up until the 12th grade. I was one of those said people until I came to the South and merged into the Baptist faith. Amen. Because that is the faith that was my grandparents' faith. But I grew up believing in Hail Mary and yah. And then I started thinking about those things a few years back. Like, there was a lot of talk about Mary. But then I thought, well, we're not supposed to really be praising Mary, are we? I only learned that through the Baptist faith. No, we're not. But as you see, you do as what you learn at one time. And I was a child then. My faith changed, and I realized some discrepancies that were not probably something I wanted to do as an adult, praising God and Jesus, and that they are the only ones I was supposed to be upholding, not Mary. But to each its own, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. Please hit the link if you would like to give commentary pertaining to this commentary. I brought you what was said in the said article. The priest being openly gay, one having affairs with men, and the foreigner who has outed priests over in Naples and keeping a dossier of graphic photographs, text messages, and pictures of other priests and outing those said priests. What do you feel about that man doing that? I watched a documentary a couple years back of priests in Italy, the underground secret society they have, a meeting with men, sex workers, having sex and engaging in sex and even drinking with these people and partying with them. It is a known fact that these priests are known to party with homosexual men as if they are not priests, regular civilians. Very disturbing information that I got from watching the said documentary. I cannot remember the network that I watched this said documentary, but it was very disturbing to see priests hidden, of course, in shadow, admitting that they were hiding their sexuality in the nightlife when church was not on, and partying with men and drinking and slumbering with men openly with other gay men and priests on the down low. The secret society in Italy was the most disgusting, vile thing I had ever heard of. Because I feel like how the Vatican feels. Vatican, the Pope, whichever. The Pope, rather. If you're going to be gay, if you feel that you're gay, please go your separate way. Do not join the priesthood. And I assume he would feel the same way for the nuns, females. You have those tendencies. You like the same sex. You're attracted to the same sex. Go do you. Why enter, as he says, a sacredhood, knowing you have those said feelings? Amen. Please hit the link. Night Owl has dropped the link. Thank you for joining me this late hour. I'm trying to bring all my stories to fruition because I got sidetracked with the information coming out of California. So it threw me off of the stories I already had lined up to bring you all 2 nights in a row. So I was behind bringing you that said information yesterday and the day before. So now I'm catching up in the late hour, bringing you content that I had already had on the docket to bring to you. But because of all this updated news coming out of you nowhere, it threw me off. So I apologize. Thanks for joining me. Please hit the link if you would like to give your commentary. If not, I can make this a very short live and go on to the other 2 stories I do want to bring out, because I have 2 more stories that I'd like to bring out before afternoon Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you, Niall. God bless America. Woo, goodness. Hit the link if you'd like to be a part of the panel to give me your information, your commentary. Oh, mercy. The devil is a liar. One second, sweetie. Get you up here in just a second.
Hey, Miss Angie, honey.
You must love the queen, though you're not.
Yes, I do.
You got mad love for that queen, honey.
You know I do. I told you that.
You've been faithful from day one. I appreciate that. God bless you. I got Terry here from upstate, East Coast. Goose, hello.
Hello.
How are you, baby? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington, actually.
Washington, D.C. or the state?
The state. The state.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to let Miss Cherry go ahead. Miss Cherry, tell me how you feel about the commentary and information I brought to you.
Okay, well, you know, Miss Angie, I'm kind of in shock. I mean, I know about the priests, you know, I've been hearing about that throughout the years about the Catholic priests molesting children, the boys and all that stuff, and the girls too. And I just thought that was wrong because, you know, it's like the Catholics, they like keeping stuff under wraps and keep stuff hidden. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was raised a Catholic until we moved from Pennsylvania down here to Maryland. Then we went to public school, me and my brother. But I never really did like the Catholic thing. I mean, I had to, you know, the confirmation, you do that in the second grade and all that good stuff. Eating the bread, and the thing that got me, it was like you were trained to be a robot because it said the same thing every single week. It was never no sermon. He just reads from the Bible, so and it's the same thing every week. Now I go to a Mount Calvary Apostolic Church down here. I don't go every Sunday, but I do go. But I don't agree with this being gay and being a priest.
Okay, tell me why. Tell me why.
I think it's wrong because to me, it's in the Bible. God says to be fruitful and multiply. In other words, you can't be fruitful and multiply with the same sex. It's just as simple as that. So
what? You can't be fruitful.
You got to be fruitful. God said in the Bible, be fruitful and multiply. You can only do that with the opposite sex. You can't do that with the same sex. Know what I'm saying? So to me, that's saying, And to me, how you going to be a priest or a pastor or something cocked up on the pulpit, preaching stuff, and you get, I mean, I can't see it. No, I think to me, my opinion, it's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't like it. And just like what we discussed last week in one of the topics about the gender stuff with the kids' bathrooms, you know, the kids or adults' bathrooms. No, I think them people should have their own separate bathroom. I'm sorry. I'm just not for it. I'm not for it. And then you raising the kids the same way. That's crazy.
You just
and
throwing
these people molesting kids, you know.
Throwing it all out there. Look, you done took my little subject and went way back in my other video. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for talking about. Thank you all for being up late, joining the Queen. As I said, I have videos already. This commentary was stuff that's supposed to have been uploaded yesterday, day before, but because of all the other mess that came about out west, it threw me off getting you all the set information.
But that's how I feel.
Okay.
It's just, you know, other people may feel differently.
What do you feel about it? Because they're trying to say that the situation with the children being assaulted has nothing to do with a priest being gay. That, to me, I don't believe that. Because my thing is, a lot of boys were molested and raped by men in the priesthood, in the church, in the parishes. So there's no way you can say they're not linked. That makes no sense.
That's right. I believe that.
And I didn't agree with them moving them around. So tell me that before you go. How do you feel about all these years of the priests being moved to other parishes to take the talk and cover up the sins of what they did to the children?
Well, see, honey, for one thing, you know, Miss Angie, I'm against all that mess because when I heard about this stuff, it was like a couple of years ago, and it's been going on. It's just been covered up in hush hush. But since it came out, I don't believe that they should have been transferring the priests to other different parishes and keeping it hush hush because that's just damaging more children. You know what I'm saying? They should have just been kicked out of the church, period. I mean, come on now. That's crazy.
So do you feel the diocese is a fraud and the church is a fraud?
Yeah, I think the diocese is a fraud. And then, I mean, it's coming straight from the top, Miss Angie, all the way from the top.
Yeah,
the archdiocese, all that. Yeah, covering it up. covering these priests' behinds and stuff, knowing the stuff was going on. Just like I guarantee you, they know these priests are gay too. You think they don't?
Yeah.
They know they're gay. Yeah,
But
I
just
don't believe in none of it.
the crazy part is one being gay, one sleeping with another priest, God forbid, you're raping and molesting the children, and or sleeping with a woman, because you do have some that are attracted to women, all while getting up in the pulpit, delivering the word every Sunday, shaking hands with people in the community, and pretending that you are living this sacred life.
Yes, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie. And guess what? You lie, not only hurting and lying to yourself. You think the good Lord don't see that?
Yeah, right.
That's a punishment.
That's the crazy part. Yes. What do you have to say?
Well, I have kind of a different experience because so I had dropped in the chat how unfortunately I went through some things as a child, and the family member who actually did those things came out later to say that, well, he had been abused by a priest and that was the abuse. I honestly don't believe that, just because of this person. So the person who said that the person who had abused and raped me as a child, they came out later to say that it was because they'd been molested by a priest.
Okay.
But
I got wow, that's deep.
Yeah, but I honestly don't believe this family member because of just and even
so why don't you believe it? Because you do know that most people who are that most sadists and most rapists and most child molesters were molested as children.
Well, because
like R. Kelly.
It was just it's kind of a different situation, but this was, for me, part of it was because like when he talked about the see, how do I say this? I can only say so much legally because
don't throw yourself out there. So just try to be respectful of how you describe it.
Right. Well, he basically, let's just say that he even went on to say that like what specifically happened to him was like very minor as opposed to what he did to me for, well, I was like 4 or 5 until just after 9 years old. When he moved away, but the period of time that things happened to him was like 2 weeks. So there's kind of a difference there. I understand that like maybe if I think he was molested. I just don't think it was the priest because of
well, either way he was assaulted.
Yes, I do believe that part. And then the other strange thing, you guys were talking about how like they hide priests and they swap them around and everything like that. Well, the one priest that I know of for sure that was in our congregation growing up, I was quite young, so I didn't hear about it until later, but one of my middle brother, actually, he was in a group of boys. Fortunately, he wasn't molested, but a lot of his classmates were. They were all all altar boys and stuff.
Oh, wow. And, so are you speaking of the Catholic Church at the moment, ma'am?
Yes. And so what we found out later though was that fortunately that brother was not molested, but like 3 or 4 of his classmates were, and we found out after the fact that this priest had actually come from a congregation where that had already happened, and he was not supposed to ever be around any children by himself.
Nene wants to know how old is a man that violated you?
He was 9 years older than me.
9 years. And how old are you now, sweetheart?
I'm 40 now. So at the time I was, when we were I was trying to figure it out. I was either 4 or 5 because I knew when it started happening. We were living in a rental house. And then we moved to my parents' main house. And then this person moved away right after I turned 9. So obviously when they were younger, like, maybe they were curious or whatever, but to do that from 4/5 until after 9 years old, he was like 18 at the time. So, here I am like 8 years old and he's in high school, and, he obviously had girls his own age and things he could have done. And, he had other people he could have, let's say, experimented with or whatever.
So where is he now, honey?
You mean like
Where's your abuser? Yes, is he alive, dead, in
Oh, he's
jail,
alive.
married, children? What?
He's alive. He's alive.
Does he live near you?
Yes.
Same
Lord.
city.
Yeah.
Is he married, dating? What? Just give me something about
Married.
him. He's
Married,
married. Does he have children?
Yes.
Girls, boys?
1 girl, 5 boys.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see him?
No.
Okay.
Good.
How do you feel about him at this moment?
I would say hate is a strong word, but I definitely despise him.
Okay.
Because
And the age that he abused you was what age were you?
It started when I was either 4 or 5, because like I said, we were living in a rental house while my parents' house was being built. So that was age I know for sure.
So what was he doing? How did he get access to you? Excuse me.
He was a close family member, so I can't really say.
So it was your friend, it was your family's friend's child? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No.
Huh?
No. He wasn't a family friend. He was part of my family.
You mean your relative?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything.
Can you say what kind of relative? Listen, can you say what relative he was?
Is. Yeah.
Well, please tell us.
A nephew, a cousin, an uncle.
Terry.
I can't say that part legally because I actually.
No, you got to remember, Goose, we do not know you. We don't know your name. We don't know where you're located. You are just spinning a yarn to the queen.
It was a sibling.
Okay, I'm dead.
Okay.
Lord have mercy. I'm dead now.
Yeah, it destroyed my family. I actually held it in until I was 31 years old and 38 weeks pregnant with my only child, which was is a little girl.
So listen. Just bear with me. So your own brother molested you.
Mm-hmm.
How old was he? Because you told me you were about 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How he was what, honey?
Like about 10 years older.
So 10, so he was 14. So this leads me to believe that somebody had been touching your brother.
That's what I'm saying. I do think
that's a normal thing. That's a normal thing. I mean, seriously, that's a normal thing.
I just don't think it was the priest because I think it was maybe a Boy Scout leader.
Well, it doesn't matter. They were wrong.
No, it doesn't matter. Trust me.
It doesn't. If somebody touched him and he acted out, and that's to be expected of a child. It's not like he was an adult touching you. A child, you can expect that from a child because somebody has been also touching them.
Right. And I've gone through a lot of therapy later in life. Obviously, at first I held it in because even though they never said, don't say anything or anything. I just knew I wasn't supposed to say anything. It's like
of course, yes.
Thing.
But that's a hard thing to just come out and say. And people always like to ostracize children for not saying anything. But it is a hard thing to just come up, open your mouth one day and tell somebody, my brother been touching me, my sister been touching me, my daddy or mama been touching me, my uncle or the guy next door, the neighbor next door. This is not something you just wake up and just say. Now, some children have the gumption to tell, but then there's other children who don't have the gumption to tell. Let me ask you this. How long did the abuse go on?
From 4 or 5 until just after 9. So for a very long time.
Yeah, 5 years. That's a long time. So he had even gotten older.
Yeah, he was high school.
High school, still touching you. Wow, that's deep, man. So you don't have a relationship with your brother right now?
No.
So
crazy thing is,
break it down to me how this formed to where. When did you tell your mother, father that your own brother had been touching you?
So my father died suddenly when I was 20 from a massive heart attack, so he never knew. But then I ended up in a really bad abusive relationship when I was 29, and I actually was I was raped by him when I was 31, and I got pregnant, and I'd had miscarriages prior with my ex-husband, and so because I was raised Catholic and I'm not necessarily practicing that now, but I still have my beliefs, with abortion and stuff. And so because I'd had miscarriages before, I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave this up to God. Like the chances of having a miscarriage at that point were very high. And so I just left it, up to God and what he, would choose. And I,
So you never told a parent is what you're trying to tell me?
No. So what I was going to say is, because of the abuse in the relationship, I had been telling my daughter's father that I was going to leave. And every time I would do that, he would, you know, say this, that, or the other. Well, then he tried to trap me actually when I was trying to run out of the house.
Yeah.
And so he didn't let me leave. And so when I looked at him, I said, please just let me leave. And he was like, okay, you can go, but I guess everybody's going to know your little secret about your brother.
So you told your husband?
We weren't actually married
well,
yet.
boyfriend. Okay. But I'm saying, sweetheart, did you ever tell your mother or father?
Yes, I had told him, but I hadn't told my mother yet. And so at that point, when I was 38 weeks pregnant with my daughter, I had started going to therapy because I was having a little girl. And I guess you could say it was kind of a trigger at the time. And I also knew I wanted to get away from this guy, and just the threat of him outing my abuser when like my family didn't know about it. So my mom found out when I was 38 weeks pregnant in a therapy session when I had like written like this fake letter to my abuser, and she read it out loud to my mom, and it was everything that happened in detail.
So
and my mom was devastated because she had tried to do like everything, you know, to try to protect, you know, us kids from like outside sources, and little did she know that.
So what I'm saying is, what is the age that you finally told somebody that he did this to you?
I had told like when I was 20.
No. I want you to tell me what age you were in your before that. You never told nobody why you was going. So you can tell me you lived in a house with your brother who did this for 5 years. You never told nobody, your mama, daddy, all them years.
No, I didn't tell my mom until I was 31.
That's what I'm trying to get understanding. Yes, that's what I want to know. So you lived with your abuser for 5 years and never told your mother your brother was touching you. Did y'all have the same father?
Yes.
Same mother?
My parents, my mom still never dated. My dad died 20 years ago, and she still never dated. He was her one and only. They were high school sweethearts, married for 34 years before he died. My grandparents were both married over 50 years. So, the household was great. It was just besides that part, obviously. And it was
somebody in the audience wants to know, does your brother's wife know what he did to you?
She knows that something happened, but she doesn't know the details.
And explain that to me, the something that she thinks she knows.
Well, she made a comment to me. This was years back. But she made a comment to me probably like 7 years ago, like, oh yeah, I know some things happened with your brother. And I can't remember the whole conversation, but the way it came out was that she obviously did not know the details because he did everything to me except vaginal intercourse, and had me do everything you could think of under this.
Wait, slow down.
Sorry.
Just calm down, baby. Just take some deep breaths. She came to you saying, I know. What was the context for her to come to you and say, I know that something happened?
She was at my mother's home visiting, and somehow I'd gone down into my mom's bedroom, and she was down there, and she just brought it up. I don't remember how or why. It's really easy to like disassociate when you go through this sort of stuff. So there's bits and pieces that I remember really well, and then things that I don't. I just remember she made a comment about it, and she said, like, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but I could tell by what she said that she definitely did not know the extent of things.
So just out the blue, you're at your mother's house, and this woman, your sister-in-law, just comes out and says, I know something happened. You don't find that odd?
Well, no, because it was like within like a week or a few days of my whole family finding out what happened, because like my other brothers found out, and so it was like within a period of time when it was made aware of, when things were made aware to my family members. So
so did any other people in your immediate family, such as parents or brothers or sisters, touch you?
No.
So somebody 9 times out of 10 have been touching your brother, and that's the $1 million question: is who is that person?
Right. And again, we don't know.
So what I'm curious now is, you're an adult, you tell your mom. What was your mother's response, and what age? You said you was about 31 when you told your mother?
Yeah, I was 31, and 38 weeks pregnant with my daughter.
Okay, and what did your mother say to you when you told her?
We were sitting in a therapy session and she was just devastated. I mean,
Okay.
she was crying and just she was talking to me and my therapist and just, oh my gosh, here I was trying to do everything I could to protect my children from outside sources, and little did I know it was happening under my own roof.
Okay. Did she confront your brother?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He admitted it.
So he admitted to your mother. Did he ever admit it to anybody else in your family?
Yeah, my brothers.
Your baby. These are your baby brothers?
I have a twin brother and another older brother.
Okay, and what did they say?
I don't know the whole discussion. I just know from talking to them later that.
Have they ever said anything to you about the alleged abuse?
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times.
Do they believe him, or do they believe you?
Oh, there's no reason not to believe me because he admitted it.
No, but I'm just saying because somebody said something. You understand what I'm saying? Just still.
Yeah, no, they definitely believe me. That's for sure.
Do you get along with these brothers?
Yes.
Do you get along with your mother?
Absolutely, yeah. We're super close.
But do your brother, the abuser, get along with the brother and your mother? The brothers and your mother?
That brother now is not much a part of our family. When this came out, he basically just took his family and skirted his own way.
Okay, somebody says, what does your brother do for a living, the one that abused you?
He's a business owner.
A business owner. Okay, so okay, we'll leave that alone. Do you think
Sorry,
let me tell you something.
Things I can't say. I know you don't.
Okay, so that's fine. Let me tell you something. I believe your sister-in-law said something to you, probably because there's something been going on with her own children and her husband, your brother.
We actually brought that up because of my niece. Because my niece looks so much like me when I was little.
Okay,
now she's like,
so I understand. Mm-hmm.
Now she's 18, but at the time, when she 9 years ago, she was obviously 9 years old.
Yeah, because what's going to be interesting to find out down the road, or if God wants it to ever be revealed, that
I'm going to talk to her.
That your brother has also probably touched his own child. Because what I have to ask myself is, why in the world would somebody just out of the blue say, I know what happened, or I think I know what happened? That's just not even something you would even just say to somebody out of the blue.
Well, I know it does make sense though, because it was the first time she had seen me since she found out about what had happened.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so it does make sense. It's not like it was just a random thing that she said one day.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is what? Your brother told her?
Yes, my brother told her after everything came out in therapy, and
wow.
Basically, I had told him I need to go to therapy, and
yeah, I understand.
I was actually working for him at the time, which that's a whole nother story. But our family has owned a business for since the 40s.
Yeah.
And so I went into the business because of my grandpa and my father.
Okay, I understand. Because we know that abuse stays in the family and people still continue to deal with abusers. We also, people will not believe the abuser. We'll believe the abuser, uphold them, depending on who they are, whether it's a child or a brother.
The abuse can change from, say, in my situation, sexual abuse as a child.
Somebody said, talk to your niece if it happened. You know that would be a problem. You just going to your niece saying something.
Yeah, well, so basically, he's kind of made it to where, my mom wasn't even allowed to have my daughter over when she was 4 years old.
Okay.
If his kids were going to come over and visit, really just effed up.
Yeah, because people still will be around people that abuse them. Then they grow up and have kids, knowing that somebody abused them, and still now allow their children to be around somebody that abused them as a child, and that makes no sense because it's kind of no. Let me say.
Oh, he just wanted me and my daughter, no part of the family. I think he kind of wanted us to just be we weren't part of the family. So my mom would have to choose if she has my daughter.
I know personally people who have allowed their own brother to be around their children, knowing that same brother molested them.
Yeah.
So what would make you think they had changed? And then when you finally find out that they have molested your child, you still didn't do nothing about it. You still allowed that brother to come around the family.
Oh
See,
yeah, my daughter
those
would
type
never
of
be
things I don't
allowed
understand
around
about
him.
that. And we see
She's
that a lot in Black families.
Yeah. My daughter's 8 now, and she'd never be allowed over there. In fact, when everything
Right.
came out, my middle brother's daughter was
Right.
like 8 or 9 at the time. And so because she and my other niece, they're literally like 3 months apart, so they grew up being really close, but my brother
Okay.
would not allow her to go over to my other brother's house and
Well,
like
at least you had
stay
enough
the
sense
night
to
or
say you didn't
anything.
want your children around, because I'm trying to tell you, certain people have allowed their children to go around, be around the abuser, let the abuser be around them when they
Right.
know the abuser abused them. That's what I understand.
Right.
Somebody, you know they
Right.
abuse you. Why would you allow them to be around your children? Because you're scared to say what? Hey, I don't want you in my house. I won't have nothing to do with you.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. I could
Very
never.
crazy.
And
Well,
I think if anything, it's made me like hyper sensitive with my
yeah,
daughter. Like
yeah,
I'm like the
I believe that. I don't
helicopter
know why
mom.
anybody would not believe their own child. If your child say, "Hey, he touched our sister," whatever, and you don't say nothing, and you still allow that person to come around your damn kids when you know that person also molested you as a child. See, I don't condone that
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you. And I
'Cause
pray
he
for
he
you.
also, as in a like within his marriage, he has struggled a lot with infidelity.
Okay, well,
And
those things
so
come about, as we say, when people have been violated.
yeah.
You've been violated by another adult. Now you growing up as a child, reaching out, doing things that is not natural, and then you go out in the world and you are what as I would call hypersensitive sexually.
Yeah.
You're sensitive to sex because you've been touched. You
Yeah.
may not felt
Oh
that way
yeah.
had nobody not been touching you.
He's cheated on my wife knowingly. We know at least of 10 times because it's been brought up. They've gone to therapy for it. And it's really sad because my sister-in-law is a very, very sweet person. And
Yeah. But what she
too
has to
sweet.
also think about is, has he touched their own child or other
Right.
child?
And that's the thing. I honestly don't think she knows the extent of it, because I think if she did, we would have had a much different conversation that day. But
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it for a
sad
few years that I want to
because
write
that's
her a
why a
letter.
lot of people, I know a lot of people may not want to hear this, but it has just been a known fact with abusers that most child molesters, rapists were molested.
Yeah.
No one is saying it is an excuse, but if you never deal with those problems, you never get therapy to deal with those problems, you act that out through childhood. Now you're an adult and you're still attracted to children. Think about it. Why would you not be if you've done it for years? Nothing has happened to you. You never got therapy. Now you're an adult. You're still attracted to children. And that's what people understand. And it's not to say that it's right, but that's why you hear the stories of people who abuse children. 9 times out of 10, abusers were abused. They were abused. That's where the behavior comes from.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of wonder, like, if I would have said something, earlier, obviously.
Yeah, because he could have got help. He could have got help. He could have got help. He could have got help to curb the appetite or whatever, because let's be truthful. He was a child. He's just acting out what somebody did to him. Doesn't mean it's right. It's nasty. It's gross. But we do know of children touching other children. Children do it when they're children. When they're little, they don't know any better because they're curious.
Right.
They don't know, hey, I ain't supposed to be touching my sister's private, or I ain't supposed to be touching my brother's wee. They're kids. It takes an adult to say, hey, that's not right. You don't do that. That's a no.
I think maybe, when things started and he was younger, like 13, 14 years old, that was different. But when he was like 17, 18, that's the part where I get more angry with him. I mean, of course, I'm angry about the whole thing, but I think the later years were the years that got a lot more extreme, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because if you don't nip it in the bud, it's going to continue. Everybody knows that.
Right.
You keep letting a child, and you don't do nothing knowing a child and touching another child or a relative, how is it going to stop?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My mom, you brought up a point too. My mom ended up like talking to both my brothers and asking them,
because you need to know those things. Who's been touched? Who's touching you? You been touching somebody too? Are we going to put a stop to that? That's will not be tolerated in this house. And I want to know who's been touching you, because I don't care what nobody says. You don't wake up touching kids. Kids don't wake up touching children.
Yeah, and I think you brought up, about how some abusers or some people who are molested go on to be abusers, and then I think
Yes,
like in
they
my case,
do. It's been
right.
proven. It's in
No,
data.
I know that. But what I'm saying is I think then there's the other side of the spectrum, like for me, where you go the complete opposite. Like I even had health issues because of my body like being like, nope, no one's doing anything to you. And there's
What do you mean?
so there's a thing called, I'll just say it. Hopefully it won't like freak anybody out, but it's called vaginismus, and it's an involuntary contraction of the vaginal muscles to where like even putting a tampon in can be like impossible at times. And so that's really like screwed up my adult life, like when I was married and stuff, because of course at that time I hadn't talked about it. And so it can make intercourse like impossible.
Wow. So what are you saying? So are you telling me you were penetrated as a child?
I was not vaginally penetrated, but I was penetrated every place else.
Oh, you ain't got too many other places, but 2 other places. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, my mouth and my,
tail.
My,
Wow.
He sodomized me once, but that was enough. But basically,
oh yeah, somebody. You when you start talking about that oral copulation, somebody been messing with your brother.
Yeah.
That is not even something a child would even know to do. Is to put their private parts in somebody else's mouth.
Well, and what's weird is like that
No way.
that happened when he was in high school. It was almost like when I talked to my other brother later in life, he was like, wait, with the timelines, it was like they learned sex ed. So it was kind of strange because at first, like I said, it was different stuff. Wasn't the penetrating stuff.
Wow.
That extreme stuff, but
wow, this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody been touching your brother, because there's no way in hell he would think of putting his private parts nowhere near nobody's mouth.
Especially a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he been touched. Somebody.
If it was sex ed and kids got curious, in high school, and they're like,
he had been doing it. He had been doing it for years, and he didn't got accustomed to that. I mean, common sense. He got accustomed.
Yeah.
Mercy, girl. Yeah, I can see that will affect anybody. Lord have mercy. I just.
One other thing I was going to say back to the priest thing, though. So the 4 of the boys actually who were in my other brother's class, they ended up actually suing the archdiocese later, because when the parents found out that this priest, I want to say his name was Father Paul. That doesn't really help because we don't know the last name, but
look, I ain't trying to be funny. It's probably Paul or John. Shut your mouth.
I know, right? How many Father Pauls are there? Let's Google that. But no, I believe
you already know that. Oh, sorry, that's funny, but
but yeah, so like 4 of them sued the archdiocese, and I was gonna say one thing that's frustrating with that is it seems like when Terry was talking about how they like hide things and stuff,
Yeah.
like,
They've been doing it.
Switch them around and stuff.
Yeah.
Then the priest is never held accountable. So the archdiocese gets held
accountable
and held accountable monetarily.
And that's the problem. That accountability. You are allowing the priest to move about and roam the country to do the same thing over again. How many times are you going to keep moving them around and around because of allegations?
Right.
Ridiculous.
I think after that, I want to say that he was kicked out because it was like he got his 1 warning, and then he got transferred to our church, and then it was said he was not supposed to be by himself, which I find to be kind of strange because since we were in a smaller town, we didn't have like multiple priests. We pretty much just had 1 priest and then maybe a traveling priest, very rarely, but we never had like a deacon usually. Like some churches will have a priest and a deacon. So that was another thing that made the parents really upset because we weren't like a bigger church where there was easily 2 priests that rotated or a priest and a deacon. It was very rarely that we had a deacon.
Wow. Mercy. Goose, we're going to pray for you, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your testimony.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you, Goose.
Yes, thanks for watching me, baby.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll drop down in the chat.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Goose. We're going to pray for Goose and her testimony. Lord have mercy. Well, what do you think about that, Miss Terry?
Honey, it's terrible. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Miss Angie. When my mom was alive, I lost her when I was 9 years old. My brother was about 7. she had a boyfriend, and he waited one night when my mom went to the store, and honey, he came creeping up in my bedroom. I think I was about 7 or 8, and come laying on top of me, trying to feel all on me and stuff. And he told me I better not say nothing, or he was gonna kill me, my brother, and my mom. And to this day, I never told her.
Okay, where was your mother when that happened?
She was at the store. She went to the grocery store.
How long did this man stay in your house, or was he just coming and going?
Coming and going. But I never told her because I didn't think she would believe me. So I never told her.
So how long did this go on? Did he ever touch you or anything else?
He only did it that one time. But he didn't penetrate me nothing. But he was feeling on me up my nightgown.
Okay.
But I've never forgotten that.
This is why they say, you know, it's a little off the subject, but why you can't have men around your children.
That's
because
right.
You don't know them, you don't know the mindset. You think because somebody is friendly and doting on your child that they have the best intentions, but you don't know people. Same thing with the father or mother. You do have women who also molest. You just assume that people are good people, but you don't know until you hear the nasty rumors and the whispering that somebody's been touching somebody. And it is atrocious when a parent molests their own child.
Yes.
And when children molest other children in the household or outside, it's 9 times out of 10 because somebody has been touching them.
Yeah.
Very sickening. But this situation with the priest, I don't condone an openly gay priest. I don't condone it. I don't see the point in it. I just don't see the point in a priest being openly gay, because how are you going to stand in a pulpit and talk to me about my salvation when you are desiring a man? At some point, you're going to want to be with a man. And rather that one priest has spoken the commentary that he ain't been with a man, he been celibate. Well, homeboy, at some point, you're going to want to touch somebody.
Yes, honey, yes.
You can't see no grown person at 50-something or whatever the age is not wanting the comfort of another human, because that's the point. You are human. Now, whether you take that oath or not, you're still human, and that's the point. You're of the flesh. So you will get desires and get feelings that is normal to a human being, whether you do an oath or not. So if you are openly desiring a man, and you're a man, and vice versa, you're a woman desiring a woman, I agree with what the post said. Keep it moving. This ain't for you.
That's right.
This ain't for you.
That's right.
And that's it.
I feel the same way. I'm sorry. They don't belong up there on the pulpit. I'll give you that much. I just don't believe
you know what?
Don't
KK with you. KK, you said some boiling water. Gotta do it, Walter. You don't need you want that flesh gone. You put that hot water to that flesh. It's a wrap. You ain't thinking about touching nobody children.
No, sir. No,
amen.
sir.
Amen. Oh man, amen. Wow, this has been an interesting conversation. But I just wanted to bring you all this information. What's going on right now in our country? It's been a serious epidemic with the priests. And even though the subject matter was about them being gay, but they did throw that in the commentary. They by no means does it have anything to do with children being molested. And it's like, man, come on with all that. Don't try to downplay that.
That's right. It does.
A man attracted to a man, a boy. To me, it's all the same thing. They're attracted to a male. Where what's accessible is a little child, easier. Pray, perhaps. Now we also know there are gay men who would never touch a boy child. Let me make that clear.
That's right.
But
that's right.
You are in there. You are hiding your feelings about who you actually are. And some sick part of your brain now is desiring children. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, not all priests molest or rape children. Not all priests are having sex with men or women. Make that clear. Because I don't know. I don't have the data to say either way.
Right.
We have had too many cases of children, boys and girls, coming forward to say that they have been molested, raped by the Catholic priests.
Exactly. It's been going on for years, and it just came out a couple of years ago because they've been hushing it through the years, years. I mean, years. And
Okay,
that's crazy to
I don't
me.
think it's coincidental that priests molest more boys than girls. Right, Goose, and that's what I'm trying to say is that
That's right.
you hear more of that with boys. So
That's
that
right.
lets me know that you have homosexual tendencies. You desire
Exactly.
male, even though it's a child, but it's still a male. You
Right.
desire a male, although it's a boy
Mhm.
child, which is
That's
even
right.
worse. You want to have sex with a boy. It's a child.
And
It's
that
wrong.
messes them up. That
Yes.
messes don't they realize it messes a child up for life?
Yes,
It
because
really it messes them
nobody.
up.
How can it change if the diocese keeps moving them around? You won't hold them
Exactly.
accountable. What you're supposed to be doing is talking to him, her, and say, did you rape this kid, touch this kid? He says, yes. Poof, you out of here,
That's
and your
right.
ass is going to jail. Ain't going to just
That's
move you
right.
from here across the pond, the water,
Yeah.
next state, 2 states over. No, you're going to jail because we're not going to condone this. You can't say you believe in God and you care about the world and the community and the children who are in the church, and you're allowing your priests to touch and sodomize and rape the kids. And then because you don't want no scandal, you move the priest over a couple of parishes down the street and or towns over. Now he done packed up his little dusty bag, the moved over 5 states over. Now he starts the cycle all again. Now we got some new kids talking about, woo, Father John's touching me. Now we right back to where we started, 5 states back.
And moving away again.
Hold them accountable.
That's right. Send them to jail.
Yes.
It's terrible.
I don't
It's
believe
terrible.
They hide the pedos. Okay, Gypsy. Oh, Lord Jesus. She cussing. Views is definitely a fault. Yes, yes. No, right, not out. They don't care. And the Catholic Church needs to stop aiding child molesters. Stop moving around. Stop it. And then you have heard so many crazy stories of the people coming forward suing the diocese, and then they now are taking the priests, even though they walking on a cane in a hover round. They taking your old tail to jail.
They don't care. That's right.
They taking you to jail.
Right
Going to court, crying and moaning. I remember this one priest they found in Arizona. They had knocked on the door. Woo, he was something else, baby. He was a nasty old heathen, cussing the folks out. And I thought, oh, priest, you a new priest, because that mouth was gutter.
Yes.
He cussed just like he was a sailor on a boat. And I thought, you know what? I'd have whooped his ass right on sight. I'd have whooped him right on sight. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have cared. I would turn the camera off. Turn the camera off. Now, what you got to say? Look, I told that priest, because he probably want to present. What you got to say, homeboy? I'd have laid him out.
That's right, because he deserved every bit of it. All them children.
Home style whooping. Home style whooping. This is for every child. This is for every child you molested or raped, and I beat him to sleep. As we say in the street, beat the brakes out for you. You ain't got to worry about going to court and somebody saying the statute of limitations is old and all that. No, judge, we ain't worried about that. He can't come to court no way because his arm neck broke.
That's right.
Your arm and neck broke. You ain't got to worry about court. We ain't worry about it.
That's right, honey. Don't make no daggone sense.
Casually mentioned his baby sister induced him to sex. He was 6, 7 old, and she was 14. I told him you were molested. He didn't think so. Well, Virginia, he's a boy. Boys will think differently about their sister or older sister touching it. We know that from R. Kelly. R. Kelly to this day, his sister, who he knows was penetrating, raping him, touching him, and doing all type of ungodly things to him, which leads us to believe that she was being touched by somebody. So it's a vicious cycle.
It goes
keeps girl. So she's a girl child. As I said, the mindset of a man is different than the mindset of a woman. He's a boy. He's not getting ready to turn on his sister. It's not the same if it's a girl being molested by her brother. We are taught to think differently as children, taught to think differently as opposite sex.
That's right.
It's just a sad situation. Well, I'm an hour 24 minutes in. I don't know if anybody else wants to hit the link to give their commentary before I leave out of here. I'm not trying to keep this the lives long because I'm doing back-to-back lives to get y'all caught up on some breaking stories because God, Queen got so many. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness. The stuff that's going on in America right now is just heinous, you know. And I want to get that said information out because I am 2 days behind on the stories I wanted to bring to you all. But if there's nobody else that wants to come up on the stream to give a commentary pertaining to the priest, openly gay priest, I will check out of here. So if you want to hit the link before I leave, please do so. I'm not saying COVID keeping churches closed. Okay, Gypsy. Well, I love my church.
Yeah.
I love my church.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I love my church. I love my pastor. And see, what you have to do is you have to pray for your own salvation because that's the thing. You can't stand account for what another man or woman. You got to stand account for yourself. And that's the joy of being an individual is that God don't ask you to stand account for Peter and Paul.
No.
He worry about what you doing, how you carrying yourself. So if you over here acting a fool, a monkey's tail, and you doing stuff you ain't got no business, by the grace of God, have mercy. Thank you. I ain't got to stand account for what Peter Paul doing. Susie Mae.
That's right.
Let's imagine right. God held us accountable for what our friends did and our neighbors did. Hell, we all be in hell. we all be in hell.
Yes, honey.
Look, I don't believe a child, boy or girl, thinks differently about sex. I believe they are taught behaviors. Well, I'm talking about how to deal with the emotions, Regina, pertaining to somebody molesting them. That's what I'm talking about. As R. Kelly grew up, he never turned on his sister.
That's right.
He never turned on her. He's an adult now. He still will not turn on the sister who violated him. We all know this.
Yep.
He won't even give her name. Basically, he'll talk about her. Other people have talked about knowing that she has violated him. He will not turn on her. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy all by itself, though. Oh, terrible.
It is terrible. Anybody else have any commentary pertaining to the openly gay priests? Do you think that the diocese should allow priests to be openly gay or announce that they're gay? I don't think they will probably allow it. I don't know. I don't know what I feel about the diocese right now. If a pastor decides to come out of priest and say, yeah, I'm gay to the parish, would the diocese tell him to step down? You think they would tell him to step down?
In this day and age, Miss Angie, because that's what's wrong with this world now, it's like religion's gone out the door. It's all about politics and what I want to do, like that Nas X character. You seen that for yourself, but they ain't gonna make them step down.
Okay.
I don't believe it. They ain't been doing it.
Okay.
They ain't been doing it, and I don't think it's gonna change. But honey, like you said,
I
Miss Angie,
don't think, and I can't say for sure because I can't vouch for this. I don't think there's too many priests who are actually openly gay in the churches. So the diocese don't have to say anything if you're not saying anything. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. They're keeping it in. They're in the closet, like R. Kelly in the closet. Yeah.
Nubian, yes, you need to. Is there anybody else in the chat that wants to weigh in on this subject matter and hit the link before I check out of here? If you want to give me your commentary, please hit the link. Nene, you still holding on? It's a very interesting subject, I must admit. When I got the notification of the night, I said, "Wow, I'm gonna talk about that with the chat because you know I bring you all types of content. I am not a one-stop shop channel.
That's right. That's why I love it. I love it.
I bring you everything pertaining to life, true crime, breaking news, and various topics. That is everyday shenanigans.
Yes, I love it. I love it all. I love it. You're the only one I listen to, Miss Angie. I don't get on nobody else's YouTube channel, honey. I only listen to you. Yes, honey. I ain't got time for them other people, honey, because they're all crazy.
Okay,
you know I got time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Look, You can come over here. You can get plywood, spray paint, set lotion, Gorilla Glue, Lysol, whatever. A pack of chicken wings. Why you been airing that shenanigans? I done went over there and got me some chicken wings, some spray paint, I got everything.
Yes.
Okay, Goose thinks you should be castrated if you rape a child. Okay, what do you think about that, Terry?
Oh, honey, 100% bullseye. Yup.
Look,
I'm all for that. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, KK. It ain't nothing to cut off. You know what off?
Cut it off. Cut it off. Snip, 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 snip. That's right. Cut it off. Yes, honey.
So what you saying? Don't get me a KK started. We were talking about that song, a rap song that came out 14. He said, ain't nothing to cut off. He off. Well, that's the same thing about them the private things down there, them jingle jangles. Just cut them off. Keep on pushing.
Cut them off.
You ain't gonna be needing these, homeboy. You can't use them. You don't need them. Matter of fact, we're gonna give you a sack. We're gonna cut off your jingle jangles and your friend, your little tree stump. We're gonna put it all off to the side, and we're gonna give you a bag, and you're gonna pee, and you know what, out that bag.
That's right. That's right. That'll stop all this madness.
It's a wrap. And you can walk around a smelly mess because you decided to partake with a child, violate a child.
Exactly. Yeah, that would put an end to all this craziness.
Nay, you want to come up here before I leave? You just down there rambling in that chat. You ain't came up here and said no. I got too much to talk about. I swear, this country is crazy. All the crazy stuff going on in this country. It's just been like non-stop. My phone just pings with my notifications, breaking stories because I have the news break app. Let me say this to some of you who wonder where I get my content from. I get my content from the news break app. They have several ones, breaking news and the news break. You can go into Google and Google them and download the app. That is where I get my content to bring to you all on Everyday Shenanigans. Nene, what you got to say before you come up out of here?
I was saying back-to-back lives matter.
Who?
Back-to-back lives matter.
Back-to-back lives? What you saying?
Because you keep going back-to-back with your lives. They matter.
Yeah. All your back-to-back matter.
I'm still a little girl. Look, queen up. I'm up like a junkie. I'm up. I'm up. I might as well just get alive and get all these stories out here because, as I said, the next two stories will be the mass shootings and Miss Gorilla Glue is pregnant. Amen.
Oh. Yes, honey. Yes.
My daddy Gorilla.
She's swole. She's swole. Hey, don't sue me. I ain't got nothing. You ain't messing with my cash app, honey. Leave it alone.
So I did have a story though, because I was down there going on and on. So you know how you were saying that. So when it comes, I did investigations, all this stuff. So I had a case where a little boy was molesting his little sister.
Give me the age.
And get this, the mother. Okay. The little girl was, let's say, she was in they both were in elementary school. So she had. So.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at these comments. Summer, I'm gonna spank you. Please stop. Golly, I can't. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead and talk.
So, they were in elementary school. So I'm gonna say he had to be in when it came out, he had to be in 5th and she was like in 2nd.
Okay.
And so, but the thing was, the grandmother worked at the agency too. Okay. So me being a long-time worker and stuff, they would give me all the craziness.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, when you're investigating that, so if he perped on his little sister, we have to figure out who perped on him.
Right.
Because he's messing with his sister for a reason.
Yeah. Because somebody probably they've been touching him. Yes.
It came out that the dad was molesting him. He was molesting his sister. And the grandmother worked for our agency and ended up leaving and quitting and going on leave and everything because it got that crazy.
Oh my goodness.
They called me when I was at home and saying that the grandmother wanted to talk to me and stuff. And I'm like, she doesn't have rights that the other family doesn't have.
Yeah.
Just because she works with our agency does not mean she can contact me after 5 if the other family cannot.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
But they were like, well, no, we called you for a reason. Like, she sounded real distraught. So when I called her, she was just bawling and bawling and bawling and saying,
but you know,
Nene, he did it. Nene, my son did it. And he went to prison. When I tell you, they beat his ass.
How far? How much time did he get?
He's still in there. And I haven't worked.
Well, how long has it been since he got prison time?
I think he got like 25 years or something.
Oh yeah.
Good.
I prefer it longer than that. Quite frankly, I do believe in life. I believe once you violate a child, I don't care what type of sex it is. No, nasty is wrong. It's a violation to a child's right to live. You need to die now.
And I felt so bad because they want to put the little boy in treatment instantly because he wouldn't tell anything. So I kept
he's probably got a lot to deal with. That's a lot to
but he got sent away and his life got disrupted for what his dad was doing initially. And I'm like, we need to figure out
what happens when people do things to children. But you already disrupted when you touching them and doing stuff. So the state has to come in and take these children and God forbid put them somewhere worse than where the hell they just came from. That's what I hate about the system itself, is that there's no guarantee that when you take the children out of an abusive situation that they're going to a better place.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, but finally got him to talk. And when I tell you the police got a sense of humor, like when I sat in and listened to the way that they talk and how they was gonna get this guy, I'm like, ooh, I thought I had a dark sense of humor.
You need your tail whoop royally.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, but he got beat up.
I don't care nothing about your feelings. I don't care about your crime. And I know somebody touched you. I'm sorry, but guess what? You should have got you some help. You still saw yourself as an adult, still wanting to mess with the children. You should have go get your therapist and say, I need to talk to somebody because I desire, messing and sleeping with babies. So get you some help. Don't go out here still desiring to sleep with kids. You need to
with your wife in the same house and in the same bed, and she was acting like it wasn't happening.
You know what? That's gonna be my next topic tomorrow. Besides the ones I want to bring you back to back with the Gorilla Glue and the mass shootings, that's gonna be women who stay with child molesters and rapists. Amen.
Good.
But then the second one, and I'm gonna leave it alone.
We gonna get gritty with it tomorrow later on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it during the day where I can have more people chime in, give their said commentary. I don't know if I want to go back to back with another live, but I got to get those other two off my docket because they were planned. But because of that Cal City shenanigans, I got thrown off and I didn't get to bring them. But look at Goose said, "Oh hell no."
But so the other story I had.
I love y'all to death though. I ain't talking about that Summer Nights by Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj got more problems right now. Her daddy been hit by a car and they suing. Girl, please.
Her brother is a child molester.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know if y'all gonna be up. I kind of want to talk about Miss Gorilla Glue. I'd rather do that during the day when I have more people chiming in.
Yeah, because I know it'd be.
I'd love to have my brother. I'd love to have my baby brother get on the live on that one because he got on a month and a half ago and talked about that Gorilla Glue. That boy had me hollering so bad. Lord have mercy. And I tell you what, that heifer better not talk about suing me because ain't nobody told you to put that glue in your hair, and then ain't nobody told you to go get swole, and ain't nobody told you just went and got the surgery. Yeah, I'm saying now you allegedly just went and got surgery. A mommy took, or whatever the hell you call it, a mommy, whatever night owl call it, and now you swole. So all that cutting was for nothing.
And it be 6
She got
kids.
snatched to get pregnant.
Now, Al, what you got to say? I can't believe you ain't came up here and said nothing. I'm shocked. What time do you think you'll do that? Would love to talk about that. Which one, Goose? I got too many stories. That man, golly, that could really do, man. I ain't up. It's 5:12 here now. I wait a few hours and wait till y'all get up. Wait till the pilgrims get up and stir around.
Well, I'll be typing in a few hours. Okay.
Oh, the glue girl. I want to kind of wait till daylight when people are up stirring around, and we have more people that can interact in the chat with us about that. Yeah, she swole. I got the picture. Some little cutie pie leaned in with her. I'm looking like, oh, I heard you, baby daddy. This my baby daddy. You remember that song?
That's my baby daddy. Who that is? My baby daddy. That's just my baby daddy.
Okay, at the same time, I'm on summer nights. I'm on East Coast time. It's after 5:13. But I'm up now. But I want to knock out my stories because like I said, I got thrown off with that other stuff, and I gotta hurry up and get them out. And most of I just uploaded a video about George Floyd. It's very winded because
I watched that one while ago.
Documentation of what took place in court, and I couldn't even finish it. I was already at almost 30 minutes. I had to cut it because it was just too much more to read. You all have to go in for those who missed the trial. They had a glitch, they said, because I fell asleep on it earlier. I was trying to watch it. Me and one of the mods were talking about it. She decided to watch it. I hung up, and before I knew it, I was lying in my bed, and I had the TV playing in the living room, so I was listening to it. Honey, I'd been left Minneapolis. When I woke up, I was back in Tennessee. But I came to Book called me on Messenger, woke me up. What you doing in the bed? You know how you talk. What you doing in the bed? I'm asleep. What you doing? He was out getting takeout with his fat head. I love my noon your time or what? Goose, I don't know. I want to wait till I get more of an audience so I can have more people, because more people will want to interact with that glue, with that Gorilla Glue once they hear the homegirl swole. Look, homegirl swole. I can't believe what do you think about that, Name?
I'm not surprised. She got snatched to get pregnant for what? I don't know.
I said something real bad about her just now. I watched my tongue. She fertile. She must know Ryan Dean.
Yeah, because this would be number 6, ain't it? This would be number 6 for her.
Look what I said. Her and Ryan Dean first cousins.
That's why I got a whole issue with. I can't even talk on that. I don't understand.
What you don't understand?
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, what you don't understand? Talk to me. What you don't understand?
I just can't deal with hoes to be having babies all the time and got all these baby daddies and this, that, and the other. And then y'all want to for benefit after benefit after benefit.
It's just my baby daddy. Honey, I gotta get confused with my child baby daddy, Peter Paul Jones and Smokey Johnson. And then what this baby name is? That somebody said this one. Damn, you don't think your kid's gonna be wondering why his brother and sister got a different last name?
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Right.
Shit, 7, 8 different last names. Golly.
That don't make no sense.
I start forgetting what I done talked about and everything. I go back in my videos and look at stuff and say, damn, what did I talk about that? Okay. Now, I ain't trying to keep up with no damn baby daddy names, I'll tell you that. I ain't trying to keep up with Snooki.
They not either.
It don't make no sense.
Look, that heifer don't like no condoms. She don't even want to take a birth control pill.
That's just the dirty vajayjay. Like I just have a whole irritation with women.
Oh, look, somebody said Terry looks tired. Terry, all right. Terry like to hang. Y'all don't know Terry.
I'll be up all night, honey.
Look, that cougar, honey. Yeah. On that MD, she go.
Terry looked like she just woke up to me.
She woke up for the queen.
Yeah, she can't.
I'm gonna tell her take a nap.
I can't sleep nights.
Well,
I'll be up all night. I'll sleep in the
back.
daytime.
It's 5. I'm gonna try to come back in the afternoon, about 1 or 2, when I know people are up and can interact with us, and we do the Gorilla Glue. We're gonna roll with it.
Okay, that sounds good.
But that damn Ryan Dean first cousin, I said it. I ain't never seen nobody love some ding ding, man. These heifers is rough out in the street.
Oh, well, let me be quiet on that.
Y'all young, I understand that you got a sexual drive, but at least just wear a condom and wear a birth control pill. That's all I'm saying. Or get the shot or the whatever that thing is you put in your arm. Dang.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Yes. What they want to do is have these babies out here, and then they want to use our tax money to feed them and to clothe them. And then you ask them, well, have you filed for child support? No, but you ain't got no problem asking the government and using taxpayers' money to feed and clothe your kids, but you can't ask the dusty dude that you was next to.
Okay, baby.
Yes, Nene. Okay, right, honey.
It's an entire irritation with that.
What you saying? Well, I'll be watching while at work. I can't say jack, but I can tune in. Oh, okay, because you'll be at work. Okay, I appreciate your support.
Yeah, I'm gonna be typing away too.
But you can't make me understand. Just keep having them back to back. It's like all the birth control. The birth control is free. What is the problem?
It don't make no sense.
Dang, it's just like, damn, ho. What? Oh.
They keep the Center of Disease Control and service though.
Oh, Atlanta State, look, Atlanta stay on deck. Got them folks making mad paper down in Atlanta, baby.
Yeah.
Work at that agency, they be cutting them checks when they go to the bank. Right. I want to thank you.
Yes.
I want to thank you, little dirty, nasty heathens down here.
Disgusting, like, yes.
Them little scientists and all them folks that work at the CDC, they glad when they go to the bank, honey. Ooh, y'all just keep us screwing, please. Just keep out.
Creating new diseases like this. So they gonna be a gorilla disease next. That's what we gonna be catching the gorilla. What you got, girl? I got the gorilla. What is it doing? It's leaky. It's hard down there. It's harder than it normally is.
Them keep it, baby. You know what, KK? Please stop. Look, she got that Rick Ross. Oh, every day. Damn, baby. They need like a cloth to put over her kitty cat. You know, like lay back. And you just need a warm cloth to put over because she ain't about to use nothing. So you're going to have to put a nice, hot, wet rag over her private parts.
Hey, they need to stow it up.
Look at Regina said she worried about her hair, nails, and lashes. I hope her children get the attention on the side and soon to be number 6. KK, go to bed. I mean, she need just a warm, wet cloth put over her private parts.
No, and let's talk about the lashes. Y'all wear them mugs and don't wash y'all face. Y'all be having them on for a whole month and coming up everywhere and ain't wash your face because y'all worried about the lashes.
I wash my little face.
No, these lashes that be looking like. No, these lashes that be looking like.
Okay.
Them real thick, but they come up in there with the hair and the lashes and ain't washed nothing.
Please stop.
They look crazy.
Wash your face.
They look crazy. Yeah, they look
ridiculous. It's not natural. It's nothing.
They look crazy.
Just looking like a bunch of Section 8 broads.
That's not nice.
They do. I see them out in the stores looking crazy. They look crusty. Yeah. They do just look like ghetto.
Funky as hell, but they up in the store with these lashes, batting their eyes and shit.
Honey, yeah.
Okay, look, I hope her child has better common sense than her. Look, but guess what? Be up in there with your lashes on with some Air Jordans. I'm about dead.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's ghetto ratchet.
It's beyond. Like they got everything named but can't spell nothing that they got on. That's a problem.
Thank you.
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Not my America. I don't roll with that.
That's it.
I ain't got time for it.
That is the sad stories I'm going to bring you next is the Gorilla Glue. She is swole. She is with child, allegedly. And I will be bringing you said commentary about the mass shootings that have plagued our country here recently in the past couple of weeks.
Okay.
That's how I want to end this live. I thank you, Miss Terry. Nay, my
You're
mom.
welcome, baby.
My one mom. Thank you for comment. What you said? They rather go blind than take them lashes off and wash their whole face.
Yes. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Okay, Etta James. I rather go blind. That's my girl, Etta James. Ooh, I love that song.
They just do extra. Everything is extra. Like
extra. Yes.
Take some extra
I'm gonna wait a couple of hours when people are up and stirring around, and then I'm gonna go early afternoon. That's what I'm praying on, because I want to get these last 2 stories out. And God forbid, pray don't nothing come up out there.
Man, I'm a mini gorilla glue story.
Look, I don't want nothing else coming out that desert, because that desert, anything come out of there throws me off of stuff I already had planned. You know what I'm saying?
It's coming every day.
It's coming every day.
Yeah, don't come.
I can't wait until Wednesday.
Look, don't come no more, because I think that Pearl is supposed to be talking to the chief, Bakersfield chief, on Wednesday, allegedly.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to hear this on Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Desert Tuesday.
Well, you go.
You wait.
Nay.
Desert Tuesday.
All I can say is, I ain't work. Okay, but look, this is the point. What is he getting ready to tell you that he just told us 2-3 weeks ago? Nothing
new.
That's what I'm saying. You see the marriage talk. So what he going to tell us now on Wednesday?
Did she sound like she was angry to you though?
Who, the little Oriental lady?
Yeah, whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
she looked irritated maybe, but not. Yeah, I
she tired of them people calling in talking about, hey, we heard this on YouTube. If y'all don't stop.
Yeah, I mean,
she sounds like she's a little frustrated.
Let's be truthful. YouTube has been the hype on this story.
Yeah, but she sounds like she's a little frustrated. Like, look, we about to give y'all public service announcements so y'all can leave us the heck alone.
Probably wouldn't even be all this chitter chatter had those folks stayed in their lane on that ground and not been running over to that house filming. If
all
it
the time.
Had it just been, we waited to hear what the police had to say pertaining to the adoptive parents and and the other side, we would have had half of the shit we've been hearing on YouTube.
They making the people evacuate the desert.
You know what? Don't start.
It's crazy. It's crazy though.
Look, stand back there. I got coffee going. Okay, honey. Okay. But I'm just saying, on the ground that have stayed in their lane, not did all that back and forth with that house and running over there to the West House and all that. Man, we wouldn't know none of that stuff that's been going on. It would just been us.
Yeah, they would.
It'd have been just us waiting on the police to give us information, which is basically nothing. Nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's wasted time. I wonder if they're gonna tell the world, oh, the West woman, she done moved. That Wanda woman. I want to see if they tell them.
You say Desert Storm. Did you say Desert Storm? You said Desert something else. What did you say?
I said it was Desert Tuesday, but Desert Storm was where the thought came from. Whoever said that.
I was making fun with my Crystal earlier tonight. We was laughing. I said, this has been nothing but Manic Monday.
Yes, just another
Manic Monday. I love her.
And another. Then it'll be Thirsty Thursday. We're gonna need some more on Thursday. Thirsty Thursday.
Oh, Thirsty.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you the days of the week.
Yes.
Desert Tuesday, Manic Monday.
Look, that's that desert. They showed up Thirsty Thursday.
Yes. And you keep talking about California,
thirsty, baby. Oh, they give a new meaning to thirsty. I ain't lying.
Man.
Look at this girl. They had a last girl on the stand that witnessed George Floyd case today, and she was ridiculous. Appearance, behavior, lashes, and all of her 11th grade education, 22 years. Oh, you talking about the girl that had the tape? That's the girl that witnessed the crime.
Yeah, she recorded it.
She came on there with She came on there with lashes and stuff.
That's what it said.
Okay, Freaky Friday. You know what?
That just discredits you. Anytime you unnatural or wearing something so exaggerated that's not real, that discredits your character to me. I need you to be real and live in the courtroom.
So I can't wear no lashes in court?
Queen, your lashes are nice, but you don't have these ones that's like 12 inches off your face.
I can't put the glasses over the ones.
I understand that too.
Wait a minute. Why not put the glasses on so I can see the
but not. Anytime your lashes touching your hairline, that's the problem. That's
Them lashes about to curl up to my eyes. Okay.
You discrediting your character. Like, we need some people that's gonna be real. There's beauty comes in all ways, but
she went in there with them lashes and chewing bubble gum. Don't start no mess.
Yeah, and I would have just been like, "Can we get her off the stand?"
Okay.
If nobody come up in the courtroom looking like that.
We done went from the priest to the lashes. I'm dead. Y'all mean. Oh, Satan, I can't. Look, stand back to I wish it was Sunday. That's my fun day. What's on Sunday? What I be talking about on Sunday?
Somebody want the doors to be open.
Let the church say amen.
Yes, and the church doors are open.
Girl, we had church so many days. The Lord said, please stop.
Yeah.
You can't leave him alone.
Look, and the Lord said, all them church days, you still ain't came to the real church. So please,
right.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Ain't Sunday Easter? This Sunday is that Easter?
That's what I heard. Regina said it.
That's why they wait those Sunday. Put their new outfits on with their lashes and their purses.
I ain't got no new outfit.
Me either.
Praise my pastor. I need to go to court. Lord, you know what I said? I need to go to court.
You said you need to go to court.
That's the devil right there. That's the devil. I can't.
No.
Oh, did y'all see the lady in the whip snapping her fingers? I fell asleep, honey. I was listening to it from my bedroom, and I just, you know how you just have to lay down? Girl, I went out like a champ. I swear I did. I ate my little lunch.
I need the attorney to get these witnesses together. Don't be bringing that shenanigans up in the courtroom. Like, you need to have your witnesses.
Well, guess what? Who
professionally looking and
Pookie coming in with a boombox on the show.
Shut your mouth.
Honey.
When he gonna come and start break dancing, you gonna mess up my baby George Floyd case. Now don't start. Y'all mess my baby case up. I want them. I want this boy. I want this white man to go down. I want him to go down.
He gonna go. He probably already been down. Ain't he been in jail?
Well,
he was.
Yeah, but he got bond though. He got people.
You don't get what I'm saying. But he done already been down.
Yeah,
he done been down.
And they bonded him out. Look, Rick Schroeder, all them got that Rittenhouse out of prison on that $1 million. See, that's grimy right there. Y'all done raised money to get somebody out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But they will support their own. We the only culture in race that don't. We will beat ours down.
I'm leaning on faith. Right. Cause that's all I got, and I tell people that I walk by faith.
Trusting in the Holy Lord.
I'm on faith, baby. I'm going Chauvin. Use a rap, boo boo. I'm gonna tell you now, if them people deadlock, act retarded up in there like they can't give you that wheelchair to sit your tail up in for a couple years, you ain't gonna be walking nowhere.
No, but you know what, Miss Andrew? You know what the defense is already saying. The defense is already hollering that he died from drugs and shit that he had inside him. Yeah. That ain't got a damn thing to do with it.
Like I said in my upload, George was skipping around all day long and with COVID. So if he walking around with COVID and he all right, then he should still be walking around.
That's right. That's right.
That's how I feel about it. You had no right to do what you did. You talking about 9 minutes of suffocating somebody. Come on with all that. He did hold out 4 minutes. Okay, I don't want to hear about that.
Killing the man. Killing him.
what you found in the police car now months later. You want to try to enter that into evidence. I don't care.
Yeah.
He was walking fine in that store with his alleged $20 fake bill. That's just how I look
And
at
they
it.
said that wasn't true. They said that wasn't true. That the man at the store made a mistake. That it turned out that the bill wasn't fake.
Well, I
Ain't
had
that
heard
some
that
shit?
too. And then they said
Yeah,
also who owns the store had said to a new worker who's allegedly the one who called the police, you don't call the police. That's what I said in my commentary. All you had to do was say, "Sir, this is a fake bill. Please don't come back." In the story.
That's it. That's it. That's all they had to do. No, they called the cops.
Is this a store that George Floyd frequents often? Because I can't see if it's a store that he frequent, he would risk taking a
They
fake.
said he went in there. They said that he would go in there from time to time. Yeah.
Well, that's
They
why I said,
knew him.
why would I risk taking you a fake bill knowing I'm on camera? That's weird to me. Most people are not going to do that. They'll go to a store that they don't go to. They're not going to risk a store that's frequent a lot. That doesn't make sense because your fingerprint. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
Plus surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the situation. I'm worried when the experts take the stand because the fentanyl, they're going to say the fentanyl was 3 times a legal amount. It don't matter, honey. We walking on faith on this.
If it was 3 times the legal amount, he would have been dead when he took
Yeah, that's what somebody had said earlier.
Fentanyl will kill you instantly.
He would have been alive. He would have been alive if he was doped up so terrible to walk in and spend the money.
Yeah, fentanyl will kill you instantly.
It's no way. No way. Yeah. Anything dope, anything that lethal, he would have never been able to drive to the store. Let's say that. You behind the wheel of a car.
Thank you.
How you gonna drive?
That's right.
You doped up, you comatose.
No, but they're saying he ate it. But if he ate it and ingested it like the way that they're saying, that fentanyl would have killed him instantly. He wouldn't have been able to holler out and this, that, and the other.
He would have never been able to drive, get out, walk across the street to the other car. He'd have already been dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
say that BS for some other racist, you know what?
Because that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's racist shit getting ready to go on. I'm telling you. They're going to try to get that man off.
You just disrespecting that man because this is how I look at it. People get arrested every day for all types of crimes. Some they did, they did not do. And them folks are able to get arrested, taken to the jail, booked, get a lawyer, whatever, bond, and come back out. Why?
Well, just look at the shootings recently.
And he did not get that same opportunity. And that's what I'm talking about. Child molesters, rapists, serial killers get arrested every damn day.
You just got the store shooting. You just had the shooting where the guy that did all that in Atlanta, they walked out of there. They're still living.
That's my point. Look how many people have done mass shootings, apprehended without incident, serial killers, rapists, fugitives, all make it to the jail. And that is the point. They have also committed crimes, heinous crimes.
That's right.
And
exactly.
And they are alive today.
Exactly. That's right. So they better find something better. But you know, the judge is letting in his prior arrests. What the hell does that got to do with anything?
Well,
that's why I'm pissed.
That's why I told you. Just pray about it and pray that those people on the jury will do him right. And that's
right.
Minnesota ain't got too much more.
Because you get yourself all worked up, you make yourself sick. But like somebody said yesterday, I don't know if it was Al Sharpton or whoever, you turn that jury act like they ain't got no damn sense. You thought Minneapolis was on fire last year.
Right. That's what I said. If they don't commit till they go have no city left. They take
burn that place down to the ground and the other places in America. It will be worse because you ain't never seen so many places in America rioting and protesting month for month, day for day, and month for month. Never heard it like that, honey. Like they said, it was just like we were back in the days of the civil rights. But we are still in the civil rights because we still keep having problems as African American people.
Exactly.
We still keep never profiled. We still keep getting profile and you misidentification. And that was her, that was she, that was him, and you look like, dude, I don't even know you. What are you talking about? That was you that went over there. That was you that did this, baby. I've been way over here in Tokyo. What are you talking about? Some people, and I'm gonna say this, a lot of white people cannot identify black people. Oprah did a special once years ago and showed different people's pictures on the screen and had people to identify those people after so many minutes they could not. And you would not believe how badly they misidentified.
Yeah.
Well, I can't identify their asses because I don't pay attention too much. But it's no matter to me. At the end of the day, get the man some justice because we do not ever get the justice that we
That is the
deserve.
reason why the statement was, I am Trayvon, I am George, because it is the truth. You don't know where you're going to be as an African American, and somebody is going to misidentify you. Somebody's going to accuse you of something, and now you have got to try to keep your cool and say, no, you have made a mistake, and pray to God that you will walk out of there with your life.
That's right. That's the truth.
And then you do your time for your crime here, and in your death, they want to try you again. That shit's ridiculous.
What you mean?
Because you, like you said, they're putting his past history and stuff. He's already did his time for those crimes and stuff like that. But in his death, they want to bring that up and try him again on some old stuff. They're not doing criminal convictions.
That's the whole purpose of like bringing up the fentanyl and the drugs and what was found in the car.
Yeah.
He's supposed to search the car as soon as he got out of the car.
That's because they planted that shit. They know.
Well, they saying it's got evidence. It's got his DNA on one of the chewed up pills. I'm saying.
Yeah, and they got his DNA because they had his goddamn body.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
but honey, I can't even talk about this so much. I just get a whole irritation.
My thing is, it don't really matter if he had drugs in him or not. You need him because you felt like it. It don't really have anything to do with if he was geeked up, high. You did that because you wanted to. Derek Chauvin did that because he could.
That's right.
And for anybody to say that was a normal practice from the police, why in the world do you need to be on my neck for 9 minutes? Just think about that. That's a long time to sit on somebody's neck that you see is subdued and not moving. And the fact that now we have an eyewitness who filmed it shows he ain't moving or struggling, so you can't say practice that should have been exacted upon him because he's not moving. So you had him. Get up.
Yep. And then none of the other cops helped.
It should have never happened. I don't care that George Floyd allegedly was uncomfortable in the backseat of the car. What you should have done, you saw he's a tall man, he's 6'4", whatever, for what his brother says. You should have handcuffed him to the front. You put his hands into the front, not the back, because that would be uncomfortable. Somebody that's very tall getting in the backseat of a small police car. So what you should have done was handcuff him to the front, put him in, move your seat up to make room, which we also know they ain't got to, but allegedly all the shenanigans is that he was uncomfortable, claustrophobic in the backseat of the car. So my thing was George Floyd should have went to the damn jail and booked instead of y'all wrestling with him in the backseat or whatever the hell y'all was doing, and y'all took him out, and that's what led to the knee to the neck.
Exactly.
You should have left him out of the car. You got him in the car, should have left him in there. And all that time y'all goofing off, you could have already been down to the precinct and took him out that damn car. And booked him. Yes.
It's ridiculous. Well, y'all know we're going to have this other case coming up too. I can't wait for the Arbery case. Oh, I can't wait. And then what? It's them a couple of weeks.
Folks.
And that's another thing too. Somebody saying they didn't try to save him. That's what was mentioned in court today too. And I read that in my commentary in my upload. They're already saying ain't nobody trying resuscitating or doing nothing when he got in that ambulance, because more than likely he was already dead when you picked him up.
He was dead on the ground. He was dead on the ground.
Also, it's also was said months back the people who put him in the ambulance weren't even cops.
They were cops. They said they were cops.
Yeah. The color.
And officer didn't try to do anything. They just sat around and watched that poor man die like that. Like, I can't. Yeah.
Well, I might do a George video tomorrow too. Tomorrow probably just be back to back videos.
Well, I'm just gonna have to shut the hell up tomorrow.
We'll just discuss all of it. It's all depressing because I really don't really want to talk about George Floyd because that case just really disgusted me. I was so sick last May. I could just scream.
Yes.
Just cuss everybody out on sight because I had never been so damn disgusted. Besides Trayvon and Brianna, all of them make me sick. The case of the guy in Texas that was in his apartment and got killed by the cop. I'm just
And for him to, that right there, that goddamn judge wanna,
well,
I tell you, some of our people, you never get that from my goddamn family ever. Don't ever think you go get apologies for doing nothing wrong. Don't ever think you go get a hug. None of that. You gonna get a something to the throat
see,
and the
this is
body.
the point. But this is the point. This has been made a point is that most grand juries do not like to indict police for death during the procedure. So that's why they usually get off.
Well, Amber's wasn't even no procedure.
Listen,
that's just I walked in the wrong apartment. Get the fuck out of here.
The only reason I believe that we have an indictment against Floyd and the other, not Floyd, but Chauvin and the other police is because there's a video.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
If there was no video, it would have been cut.
It wouldn't be no case. That's right.
Because it is a known fact that most grand jury members do not like to indict police officers for deaths that occurred during the process of interrogation and or apprehension. They said that, and I believe it.
Yeah, it's true.
You have seen too many cops go before the grand jury and they don't
get off. That's right. Like that Rodney thing.
Because there's a video. You can't dispute it. You can make up all the stuff you want about drugs, his past. It's nothing to do with the choice you made to continuously leave your knee on his neck. And when the man was still crying and pleading for his mother, you still continue.
Yeah. So look right at him.
They have an indictment.
Let's not even forget Sandra Bland, because that's another one that irritates me. That was the saddest story. That lady did not commit no suicide. Yes.
No, they killed her. They
herself
killed
in
her.
jail. That stuff was just sad. It's just sad.
Killed her.
Well, we will discuss all of this tomorrow. I mean, later today. I will bring you more information, and we will try to go into the belly of the beast tomorrow with these other stories, because there's all bad. All I can tell people is all I can do is pray for all of you and myself that you don't end up like George Floyd, because due to the fact that we still have racist people in this country, we have people who don't mind throwing you in the loop, messy Marvins, as I call them. You can be a George Floyd.
That's right.
That's just common sense. And it's not going to matter if you got high, sold drugs, hung with somebody that sold drugs, you did keep drugs in your house. You could just be walking down the street, walking your damn dog, and somebody says you look suspicious or whatever. Now you are being, as I call, apprehended, quarantined by officials, and somebody asking you questions about what you're doing in this neighborhood, what you doing. I heard that you, and you stand there talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. And next thing you know, somebody throwing you to the ground, busting your chin, your arm, breaking your back on a lie.
Yeah.
I pray to God that never happens to any of us watching this, and that it hasn't happened. It's just traumatic, and I couldn't even imagine going forward after something like that.
Young people need to stay adamant and keep their nose clean, because young people especially get misidentified and in the loop of mischief because of goofing off and in the wrong place. And somebody decides that they mad at the world and say, yeah, them boys over there was messing with my car or this. And now here you are trying to explain to some cops, white and black, why you over here. And you could have been honestly minding your business.
Right.
But once you have been pulled over by the police, it's on and popping.
That's it. That's it. Well, Miss Andy, did you hear about the 2 teenage girls that hijacked the car and killed the Uber driver?
Crazy.
Yeah, you got to check that one out.
Uber Eats at that. Uber Eats.
I'm supposed to pick Uber and DoorDash. Please stop.
But killing somebody, or didn't they kill him?
I don't know what happened. I still got to do an update or get a gist of that little girl that went missing last week in Atlanta, and her mama was doing the DoorDash or whatever, and the boy stole the car and ran off with the baby.
Stole the car with the little girl. Yes.
I find it very strange that it took so many hours for that baby to get to safety.
Yes, and he's dropped her off at a door at a woman's steps. She was black. He dropped her right off. Thank God she got a child. Oh my God.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the fact that it took hours for the baby to be found. They said the baby was on the porch. It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, something ain't right with that
So what
story.
happened? How long did it take for the baby? How long did it take for
It
them to
was
find the
long.
baby?
It was over 9 or 10 hours when they found the kid.
Yeah, to
But
find
they
the
left her
child.
on someone's porch.
Right.
Yep. And it was a boy, 15, 16 years old that did it.
You know,
Jumped right in the car.
there was a few people, whispering that maybe it was a setup. I don't know. I'm not claiming that because I have not gone back in the store
setup
update. So we will see. Sweetheart, this is America. Come on.
No, I need to say a little bit more.
I can't say a little more because I ain't went back and updated the story. I just brought
Yeah, all you gotta do look it up on that Nene. You gotta look it up.
So much stuff to look up.
I let it go. Look, I let it go once they found the baby.
Right.
I'm just saying, you want me to sit here and believe that a child had sat out half of a day on a porch?
And I don't believe that. Yeah, I think he ran around with her for a little while, took the baby and dropped her off. I saw the house and everything. Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to believe she's laid out there for no 9, 10 hours or more on somebody's damn porch.
Yes. And the woman said she was howling for her mommy and she came out and there she was.
Right.
So
okay. Thank you, Nubian. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for the super chat. Amen. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, depending on the neighborhood. So what you want me to believe? There was but 3 houses on the street. I'm just saying what we're saying.
Yeah, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
First of all, because I got her to get off this live. What are you doing riding around with your baby doing a DoorDash? I'll wait.
Yeah, why are you leaving your kids in the car with the car unlocked?
Somebody had to explain to me earlier what DoorDash really was. Somebody said, Angela, you don't go to the door to talk or ask for money. You put the food
you just drop it off on the porch.
Drop it off and keep it moving. Yes, because my daughter, one of my daughters does that.
So therefore, I'm just sitting here saying, you couldn't find a babysitter while you're doing this, what I call Uber food drop off. This is weird to me.
Yeah, see, you right, Miss Angie, because my daughter does Instacart. When she does Instacart, I got my grandson. I ain't got time for that dumb shit. I got my grandson. She out there doing her Instacart. I'm gonna keep my baby.
Hey, Vinny. Yeah, it's just
I know some people that do take their kids with them, but you lock the door when you're going to the door.
Okay, so there we go. ATL, Metro ATL. We already know that it's carjacking central. So
it can be Beverly Hills. They gonna take your shit. Like people just steal anything. Yeah.
Atlanta.
Common sense. You're not gonna leave your kids in the car unlocked, knowing
but they still
what this world is
in Atlanta. So I'm going to say, why and how did he get in your car?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Get in your car.
Yeah.
So it's more to it.
Everybody knows that in Atlanta, they will steal your car.
Yeah.
Whether in it or not in it.
I grew up in the suburbs and they stole our minivan. And I was driving with my little sister trying to take it to school. Huh?
Of Atlanta?
No, I ain't grew up in no Atlanta.
Well, I don't know. I'm
just Ohio.
Okay.
No, I can't do Atlanta. That's way too much.
What I'm saying is, this city is known.
Yeah.
For theft. So that's what I'm saying. How did he get your baby and take your car if you're just dropping the food off and running back to the car? If you all say that's what DoorDash is.
That's what it is.
They said that he was walking by, saw the car was running. He opened up the door, jumped in it, and took off. That's what they said.
But that doesn't make any sense because I thought the article that I first read said that address was where the call came from to drop off the food. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, they said. Yeah, they did say that on the news. They sure did.
Okay,
they sure did. They said he made the call. Yeah, they saying that he made the call.
Why would I be walking by if I'm the one who ordered the food?
Yeah, that's what the news said. They said that he called.
When I go live the next time, I'll bring an update to that story and see what the 411 is on that. Because by now there should be some more information protecting that. Thank you, Vic, for joining me. I'm gonna get off of here, y'all, because I'm going over my time. I thank y'all for joining me. The next stories will be Gorilla Glue and the mass shootings in America here lately. There's been a mass shooting in Maryland. People got shot at a store, and parents were gunned down, and the suspect took their own life.
It was some shootings in Virginia this weekend.
Yeah, and that girl is also a reality star. She is dead. I know.
Yeah.
So I will be updating you all on what is going on with all these shootings.
We got to start watching cartoons.
No, I ain't watching.
I ain't watching cartoons.
I ain't watching them.
I may watch a little stand-up comedy, but I don't do cartoons, baby.
I don't do cartoons either. Ain't no kids in my house, but we gotta watch something light.
Thank you, honey. I don't do no. I might go back in time and look at a Scooby Doo.
I'm gonna have to watch me some Rugrats or something. Some Angelica.
Y'all get a little rest and wait on the Queen. Afternoon, I'll be back with the said stories. Thank you so much. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129. Thanks for joining me. All super chats are welcome during the live. God bless all of you. Thank you, Miss Terry. Nay.
You're welcome.
Later.
No, all my in that sis package. What you talking about? I don't know what she talking about.
So go, babe.
If you and that sis pack, I don't know what she talking about. I don't know what you native girl. I don't know what you talking about. No videos. I don't know you. They won't be up for long. Who somebody? Who native girl talking to?
Must be yourself. I don't know.
No, you ain't getting 5 minutes of fame over here. ain't what you want. You get it nonsense on.
All right, Miss Angie. I'll see you next live, baby. I'll be here.
Thank you. Trolls up at 5 and out of 6 o'clock in the morning. Sad. Thank you. Love you.
Ain't got nothing else to do.
Love you.
All right. Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Y'all join me a little bit later. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I will be back later in the afternoon bringing you more commentary to said stories and updates. You all be safe out there. Thank you, Vinny. Ask her, we trolled you together. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't come over here with that. And get a ghetto shit on somewhere, little girl. How about that? Now troll that.